Madam Toastmaster, fellow Rough Riders, welcome guests. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. How many of you knew that quote? Everyone. That was the first line, those are the first lines of Shakespeare I ever learned by heart. Both my parents were in love with them, and they said them at the drop of a hat. As I'm going to school, third grade, I think, to thine own self be true, as I'm going off to college, wherever I went. And I went to college. I went to Southeast Missouri State. And the president of the school stood up on the college theater stage and addressed the entering freshmen. There were about 1,200 of us. And he quoted those very lines.
Wow.
And then he said, "Who can tell me who wrote those lines?" I held my hand up. He pointed to me and said, "Yes." I said, "William Shakespeare." He said, "Very good. Now who can tell me what play those lines are from?" And he's looking around for another candidate, and finding none, he comes back to me. "Hamlet." I had just read the play that summer. "Very good. And now can you tell me what character says them, and to whom? What is the circumstance that motivates these lines?" And I said, "Polonius is telling them to his son Laertes as the boy is leaving for college." "Very good." Well, shortly thereafter, I reverted to type and became a C student once again, but I can't tell you the gratification I got out of making top marks with President Scully on my first day at college. Of course, I became an actor there, and in my sophomore year, we produced, with the college theater, we produced a production of Macbeth. I played Macduff, the fellow that kills Macbeth, because I was not of woman born, but from my mother's womb untimely ripped. And so, Leon Macduff, and damn be him that first cries, "Hold, enough!" Now there's a booby trap, a verbal booby trap in the lines of Macduff. And sure enough, I fell into it. When Macduff learns that his wife and children, his entire family, has been slaughtered by Macbeth, he has to turn to the audience and say, "What? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?" And of course, I spoonerized. Opening night, audience, everybody there, and that's, "What? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one swell foop?" Now, Shakespeare has numerous occasions like this. Imagine the poor actor who is performing in King John and has the lines, "The wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear," which of course is often spoonerized into "the wrongs I suffer and the bears I..." These things happen to actors. Well, I went on to, as our Toastmaster indicated, to Wayne State University, where there was a repertory company. We were doing 4 plays in rolling rep to celebrate the birthday, the 400th birthday of William Shakespeare. He was born on April 23rd, 1564. And we would put on 4 of his plays in 1964. Huh. And by the way, do you realize that he died in 1616 on his birthday?
Wow.
Yes.
April 23rd, 1616. We are this month celebrating the 400th anniversary of his death. He lived 52 years, an astonishing output of plays, 37 plays. 10 tragedies, 7 of them are acknowledged great by all that know. 10 histories and 17 comedies. Now, one of the tragedies is the tragedy of Antony and Cleopatra, and that was one of the 4 plays that we did. Now, I was cast as the understudy to the actor playing Enobarbus. Enobarbus is an interesting character. Shakespeare seems to have made him up out of whole cloth, just so that Shakespeare could make some certain comments and give Enobarbus some lovely lines. For instance, Enobarbus is the character who introduces Shakespeare with some of the most lovely poetry that Shakespeare ever wrote. The barge she sat in, like a burnished throne, burned on the water. Poop was the poop was beaten gold, purple the sails, and so perfumed that the winds were lovesick with them. The oars were silver, which to the tune of flutes kept stroke, and made the water which they beat to follow faster, as amorous of their strokes. The city cast her people out upon her, and Antony, enthroned in the marketplace, sat alone, whistling to the air, which but for vacancy had gone to gaze on Cleopatra too, and left a gap in nature. Enobarbus also gets to say that he saw her, Cleopatra, hopping 40 paces through the public street. He has wonderful line. Another wonderful line of Enobarbus is when Antony, who is dallying with Cleopatra full time, learns that Fulvia, his wife back in Rome, has died. Enobarbus gets to say, "The tears live in an onion that should water this sorrow." Well, from Detroit and that repertory company, I was able to go on to Montreal, to the National Theatre School of Canada, and study Shakespeare full time, at least until the Army found out about it, and then I had to interrupt my studies and go to Vietnam. So in Vietnam, I had a Zippo lighter with a reference to some lines from Shakespeare. In Henry V, Shakespeare has a character about to fight a battle who says, "But if the cause be not good, the king himself shall have a heavy reckoning, when all those arms and legs and heads chopped off in battle shall join together at the latter day and cry all, 'We died at such a place.' I am afraid there few die well that die in a battle." And I'll leave it there. Madam Toastmaster.
Woo!